is. Point of order, Mr Pete Wishart.
As you will know, I wrote to you on the 7th of November asking you to consider contempt proceedings against the government for failing to provide these Brexit analysis papers in full, as mandated, as you said, in a fully binding motion agreed by the House. Now, you very generously, Mr Speaker, gave the government 3 weeks to comply, and you said you were awaiting the outcome of these conversations between the Secretary of State and the Chairman of the Committee. We have now had these conversations, and we have now heard the response from the Chairman of the Select Committee, who has stated in this very chamber just a few moments ago that they do not meet them in full. I'm asking you, therefore, Mr Speaker, to reconsider my letter of the 7th of November and consider to bring contempt motions as detailed in page 273 of Erskine. I'm sure you're aware of the significance of this, Mr Speaker, and I know you'll deal with this sensitively, but this is contempt and the government must be held accountable for its failure to comply.
Well, I'm very grateful to the honourable and learned gentleman that shall... Order. Now I'll come to the honourable gentleman in due course. What I would say in response to the honourable gentleman, the member for Perth and North Perthshire, very specifically, is that I can, of course, reconsider his letter, but I hope he won't mind my saying that I think it would be more orderly and courteous if he were to write to me again, if he is so minded, in the light of the developments that have ensued since his earlier letter. This is not being pedantic, it really isn't. It is a question of procedural propriety. And if I receive a letter from the honourable gentleman, I will consider it and respond in a timely way. Beyond that, what I want at this point to say is that I think it is well known to members, and certainly to such legal luminaries as the former Director of Public Prosecutions, that members wishing to allege a contempt should in the first instance raise it not in a point of order, nor indeed in the media, but by writing to me as soon as practicable after the member has given notice of the alleged contempt or breach of privilege. I then decide whether or not the matter should have precedence. It is certainly also well known to the honourable member for Perth and North Perthshire that this is the procedure, as he availed himself of it a few weeks ago. I'm more than happy to confirm that my doors are always open for such written notices. Beyond that formal statement, and in the hope that this is helpful to members in all parts of the House, I would emphasise that we all heard what the chair of the Brexit Select Committee had to say. He indicated that the committee had made a public statement, that the committee had requested an urgent audience with the Secretary of State. And that information from the Right Honourable Gentleman, the member for Leeds Central, was extremely important. The Minister responded indicating a willingness on the part of the Secretary of State to meet and to do so soon. Can I very politely say to the Minister, who's always a most courteous fellow, that he was wise to make that statement. And I think that when it is suggested that that meeting should be soon, it means soon. It does not mean weeks hence. It means very soon indeed. Nothing, no commitment, no other diarised engagement is more important than respecting the House, and in this case, the committee of the House, which has ownership of this matter and to which the papers were to be provided. So that is where the matter rests. As and when matters evolve, if a further representation alleging contempt is made to me, I will consider it very promptly and come back to the House. I hope the House knows me well enough to know that I will do my duty.
Point of order, sir.
A point of order, Mr.